efforts have been made during the part of the stimulus package. 4 or 5 major solar production areas were built up in Arizona, and they continue to provide 20%, 30% to communities and counties in which they are situated. And yet, the major utilities got elected a corporation commission that began to take the incentives out, the sliding scale out in terms of rooftop solar, because they felt that that was becoming a threat to their bottom line in the short term and certainly in the long term. And so part of it, and the League of Conservation Voters has been very active in the state of Arizona. Other groups have been very active to push back on the stockholders, to push back on the people at these utility companies that basically have ended rooftop panels because they've eliminated the incentives. And part of the incentive was a sliding fee where, depending on your income, that's how you paid, and that was the length of your commitment to pay for that. We continue to push back on the fact that it would be cheaper, that it doesn't hurt poorer communities in the long run. It ends up being a benefit, and the public health effects of clean energy as opposed to what we're relying on right now. And it's the same tired, you want to call it dead horse, but it's not quite dead, about jobs and economic development. And you're hurting these poor communities because you don't. By ending the fossil fuel, slowing it down, marginalizing, you're ending their economic development and their well-being economically and their jobs. Not true, not true. In the industry, the percentage of people of color working in that industry, the fossil fuel industry, is minimal, to say the least, and in management, non-existent, right, and in decision-making, non-existent. So it's a dead argument, but that horse gets pulled out every time. And I think we need to be able to also talk about the economic benefit, jobs of the future, and I think that's the way you push back. You talk ahead as opposed to getting so defensive that you're stuck in that quagmire of arguments.
Shiloh Baptist Church Shiloh Church is a church in Minneapolis, black church in Minneapolis. He's nodding approvingly over there. African American church, right? Heart of the North Side, Minneapolis. Solar panels, baby. Putting them up there. Going to be up by the end of the month. And the way he's being led by Bishop Howell, who is African American pastor, and he is claiming this as is like his thing, and he's encouraging other pastors to say you should put solar panels on your church, or if you don't, get into the community solar thing so that at least you can buy into it. And so, we're not laying down while these spinmeisters are spinning what they're spinning. And he's also been a leader in the fight for zero waste. As you know, if you take all of our garbage and dump it in a hole or burn it, that's bad. And they're using some of these incinerators as sort of like putting it in the green column. You know what I mean? Right. Well, no, it's not, shouldn't be there. We should be doing zero waste policies, renew, recycle, composting. It cuts methane gases, which emit from these landfills. Landfills. And this is millions of dollars worth of stuff we could be using. And we got to point to these local leaders who are doing it. So sorry for talking so long.